Hi guys, welcome back. Welcome back, Anthony.
Thank you.
We talked about National Sport Festival. Getting your visa to the United States. You talked about you applying for college and all of that. What was the process like, right? Like, what made you like as during that time? You had a lot of success in Nigerian tennis, right? Had a lot of success, played big matches, some top eight in the national rankings, and all of that. What made you like, why I want to go to college in the US? What inspired that with
This
all
is
of your achievements?
yeah. You'll be surprised when I tell you this. So, while we were in co-foundation,
Yeah.
I remember. Hey, shout out to Zamani College, man. That was my high school in Kaduna.
Shout
So
out
I
to
was
them.
in, Zamani College with Emmanuel Dixon,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
around that time, Emmanuel Dixon was about to graduate, and every now I talk to him, he would be like, "Oh yeah, he's looking to go to college in America," and I was like, "Oh wow," I wasn't even thinking about that, and from just conversation with him and seeing that he wants to go to America, that was when I was like, you know what, how about I go to college in America too? So that was how I started having interest to go to college in America. So anytime they ask us in school, "Oh, after high school, where you going?"
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
say I'm going to America to college. So
Wow.
I started speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
Do I know how I was gonna get there? No, I didn't know. So I was just saying
But
it
as
into
of then,
existence.
as of then, you know about what college is.
Yes,
You have idea about
through
that, right?
Emmanuel Dixon. Through Emmanuel Dixon, that's how I know about college tennis. And then we started talking about it then. Around that time, when I was about to graduate, I spoke with Dr. Bat and I told him that, oh, I want to go to college in America. He said, okay, sure. I was like thinking there's a way, he's going to do something to make that happen. But it was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, just let me know when everything is ready. So I had to go on my own.
Yeah.
Go on in Nigeria now, we don't have
Internet, cyber
Wi-Fi. You
cafe,
go to
cyber cafe. Yeah,
you
yeah,
pay your
yeah.
own money, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
look it up. Then I started applying to multiple colleges. I applied, but before I did that, the one thing I did was took my SAT. Mr. Bat paid for my SAT.
Yeah.
He paid for my SAT, got my scores. I was in Zamani College, one of the top high school, middle school, and elementary school in Kaduna then, Zamani College.
Zamani
So
College,
I was
yeah.
ready. So when I took the SAT, I scored really high scores. So I went online, I applied, and boom, some of the coaches started reaching out. And around that time, somebody came from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
A visitor for co-foundation came, and this guy happened to be a photographer. So what he did, he made a video of me, put music. That video is on YouTube, and then he made it and posted it on YouTube. Wrote a little note under Anthony Michael, kid from the slum, trying to get a college scholarship to America. So I always send that link to the coaches, and they watch
yeah.
my video. It's still on YouTube,
Yeah.
watch my video and tell me what they can offer me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can't get anything other than a full scholarship because I don't have money to
yeah.
pay for school. So I ended up getting a coach that offered me a full ride. So that was actually what made me want to come to school in America, through just conversation with Emmanuel Dixon about college tennis,
Wow.
And that was it.
Shout out to you, Emmanuel Dixon. But you've gone through this process, right? Like with the school, like I see a lot of junior players, Nigerian junior players doing amazing stuff. Can you tell us how important it is to to go to school and play tennis, to have both hand in hand? Because growing up, I see a lot of my peers, where, I mean, including me, where we spend so much time, I would be honest, skip school, gap years, spending so much time training, traveling around the world, around the nation, and we forget that part of like, we need to study, we need to go to school, we need to study. How important is education while you're chasing this tennis career and trying to be a professional?
So I would tell you this, as someone that grew up from Africa, I'm from Africa, I grew up in Africa, but for me, like, school has always been something that my mom instilled in me and my siblings, so, and I've always thought about, what is your plan B if tennis doesn't work out? What are you going to do next? What happens if you get in an accident and you break your arm, break your leg, and you can't recover from it? What are you going to do next? I needed a plan B. So when I was in Core Foundation, what a lot of people didn't know is I was offered an opportunity to just play only tennis. But I told Mr. Bat, I said, no, I want to do tennis and school. There was a time, you probably never heard this. I was once given an opportunity to go to South Africa for the ITF Center for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But I turned it down because I had this agreement with Mr. Bat about him making an opportunity for me to stay in Holland and school. But that never came to reality, so I don't know what happened, but staying in school is so important because you just don't know what life is going to throw at you. You don't know what can happen the next minute. So all I was thinking about plan B. So school was my plan B for me when I was playing tennis. Yes, we watch tennis on TV and we play tennis, and all we're thinking is we want to be professionals. We want to play tennis and earn a living from tennis. Yes, it's possible if you have sponsorship. If your parents are not sponsoring you, you got to stay in school. Now, if your parents are sponsoring you in tennis, they're willing to invest, yes, you could go like fully tennis and then they'll probably put you homeschooling. But if your parents are not sponsoring you, make sure you stay in school because your sponsor can get up and leave anytime, any day. When Boko Haram started terrorizing Kaduna State, that was when Core Foundation left. Core Foundation had to leave, and that was the end for every kid that was in Core Foundation. That was it. They left.
So
and now you didn't have no sponsorship, nothing.
You didn't have education, you're
yes.
screwed.
So I used Core Foundation to get the best education that I could in Kaduna. Went to one of the best high school, and now I'm here. So if your parents are not sponsoring you, it's very important for you to stay in school. But if your parents are sponsoring you, you could do homeschool and play tennis full time. Yeah.
You guys heard from the doctor. So it's important to stay in school. It's not about me, but similar, I left school after high school. I skipped school for years, chasing this tennis career. I got here. Now I have offers from the big schools, but now I have to take SAT, and not just taking SAT, you have to get a certain score to gain admission into the school. So this is where the challenge comes. Now you have to start studying, preparing all over again and all of this. So it's important to stay in school. It's important to, do both of them. No one's saying leave tennis, no one's saying...
You can do both. Yeah.
You can do both. You can do both. Anthony, you got a scholarship into college in the US. What school was it? And how was the whole coming into college? What was that like, right? What was the tennis? What were the players like? The environment. Like, what was it like? Just walk us through this experience.
So I got a full tennis scholarship at Virginia Union University.
Virginia Union.
Shout out to VUU, Richmond, Virginia. So that's like my home from home, So it was great, Union gave me pretty much everything I needed, Played tennis there my entire time there from 2013 spring semester till 2016 spring, because I did college in 3 years, surprisingly. Because I took a lot of credit hours this summer school, so I finished college in 3 years. So it was great. I met a lot of people there, and then I started competing with schools like Shaw University, Shawan, and I played guys from different countries, from Brazil, from Argentina, from different parts of Europe that are in those schools. So I played against them, and when I came to Union, the tennis program wasn't that great, but when I came in, the coach recruited some other players, and we turned the whole thing around, started being recognized by CIAA, and NCAA as well. Ours CIAA All-Star, like pretty much every year when I was playing them. My final year, I was CIAA Player of the Year, 2016. So it was really great coming into that school and playing tennis, presenting the school. I took it personally because anywhere I go, I want to leave my mark, like a positive mark, before leaving. Yes.
How were you able to balance your academics and tennis? And was the tennis demanding compared to when you were competing in the junior circuit, playing national events in Nigeria, coming into college? Was it demanding? And how were you able to balance your schoolwork and maintaining your grade and still doing the college tennis?
So when I was in co-foundation, we wake up at 5 a.m. We practice before we go to school. Then when we come back from school in the afternoon, we go again and practice. So a day we put at least 3 hours of practice added with school. So when I came to college here, we only practice right after classes. Sometimes maybe in the morning when we don't have classes.
Yeah.
When it comes to working hard work, I was already used to it because whenever we travel to the Netherlands, when I was in co-foundation, we only play tennis, and it's like 8 hours of tennis every day. So it wasn't demanding, personally, I would say. But for the most part, I was ready for it because I was really playing tennis actively before ending up, in college. So, but managing tennis with academics was not that easy, but at the same time it was okay because I went to a very good high school. So that prepared me in a way that I know when to study, and I will know when to practice, and I know when to play. So I had like a really set schedule for myself, and that helped me to be able to navigate the way I operate when it comes to tennis and my academics. And I met some really nice Africans in college that made me to be one of those people that became like an overachiever. So I was so big on GPAs. So I was so big on GPA. So I had to keep my GPA up there. Graduated at the top of my class because my GPA was up there because I was doing a pre-med biology because I wanted to go into the medical field.
Oh, pre-med biology. I thought you were, for some reason, I thought you were chemistry, like chemist?
Well, I was pre-med biology in undergrad, but then I did my master's in chemistry. Yeah.
And after master's, you went to dental school, right?
Then I went to dental school to get my doctorate in dentistry, doctor of dental surgery. Yep.
Wow. So I look at a lot of Nigerians. I wouldn't say, Nigerians, right? Like a lot of Nigerians. They come to the US, they get their bachelor's, master's, and they fall back to go into coaching, teaching tennis, right? I'm one of them. Went to school, ended up, like I wanted to do. I'm passionate about it. I tried a corporate job and all of that. I don't see myself, right? Yeah. So, but I see a lot of people tell me the same thing. They've been like good schools, big schools. They can get a job and all of this, but they choose to do tennis, right? You're probably maybe one out of three people, Nigerians, that, finish college, further your education, went to a dental school and all, and now working outside of tennis, right?
As a pediatric dentist.
What made you like, what? This is what I want to do. I finished my bachelor's, master. I want to go into coaching. Why? What? Is there anything that made you different from I would say like me, but again, it's to be like, I go to school for this, I do what I go to school for. It should be the normal thing, right? Like you are doing the normal. Like we are the one that's not doing the normal thing that's supposed to be. So I don't want it to be like you are the one that's not doing the normal. So about what everyone does, like, I'm accounting, you went to school, med, finance, all of this, but then they're coaching, right? But you actually stick to that and, pursue that career. Why is it like that?
So growing up, I wanted to be a professional tennis player. We played professional. We all played professional, but I wanted to be like Roger Federer type of level. But when I ended up in college tennis, I figured that's not going to work out anymore. So I decided that, okay, I'm going to be in the medical field, and wanted to be a general surgeon from watching Grey's Anatomy and reading Ben Carson's book. I said I want to be a surgeon, Then at some point I was like, you know what? I want to be a dentist, So what made me took this route was because I didn't see myself coaching tennis for the rest of my life. There is money in it. Trust me, and I did coach tennis when I was in dental school. That was my side hustle. I was making money from it. I promise you. I was making a good amount of money. I mean, I was charging a decent price. I was making good money because I was good at it. I've been through so many coaches, so I can teach tennis from the ground all the way up. So I was using that as my side hustle, but I didn't see myself doing that for the long run for the rest of my life. And I have a goal for myself. I have a goal to retire at an early age, you know.
Yeah.
So I decided that, okay, I'm going to be a medical doctor, but at the same time, I'll use tennis as my stepping stone to get there. So tennis got me to where I'm at today, believe it or not. If not for tennis and God, I probably wouldn't be here. God used Mr. Bat to give me the exposure, the resources to be able to like get to where I'm at today. You know, so I chose to do this not because I have anything against coaching. No, because I still coach tennis once in a while, but it's because that I just wanted. I don't see myself doing that for the long run. I don't see myself being under the sun teaching tennis for the long run, you know. And I wanted to do something else, like help people in another way in the medical field. That was why I ended up choosing, you know, pediatric dentistry. Yeah.
Oh, big shout out to you. Big shout out to you. Better give you flowers when you're still here.
I know, right? Thank you.
Anthony, Nigerian tennis. I've been, you know, last 10 years, I haven't been as much, but I see a lot of videos of players, the programming in Nigeria. And I see a lot, like, shout out to Nigerian Tennis Live. I follow Instagram Nigerian Tennis Live.
Yeah, I follow them too.
Yeah.
Y'all follow me back.
Yo, Nigerian Tennis Live, what's up with that? But big shout out to Nigerian Tennis Live. It put a lot of, you know, a lot of Nigerian tennis out there to the rest of the world. It bring Nigerian tennis out to the world and all of that. I know, like, tournaments, I want to know what the score is. I literally just go on IG and check his story or his page, you know, all of that. But with that being said, so I watch videos of Nigerian tennis, right? The quality of player, the level of player, the tournaments, and all of that.
Yes.
When you watch all this, what do you think about Nigerian tennis?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Part of me feel like it's not going up as it should.
That's right, yeah.
Part of me feel that it's a little stagnant. It should be getting better. It should be getting better.
Yeah.
But part of me feel like it's not. They have so much great players with so much potentials. When I see those guys play, I say, man, these guys are good. But then what? What is next for them? After that tournament, what is next? Nigeria is still the same way that it has been when I was playing tennis. They still play a handful of tournaments a year. When I was there, it was CBN, Dala, and what's the other one? It's just three of them, right? Or two, just
the big medals too.
Just
and
the
then
two of them.
sometimes there's
Yeah.
in Abba,
So-
you know, Abba
yes,
would throw in something.
yes, once in a while. So it was like
Akure
handful.
would throw in something.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, not consistent,
Right,
but you know, like
right now, it's still pretty much the same thing, or less.
I mean, CBN Dala is the.
It's still the same thing, right?
And then there's
Or
new,
a
there's
new
like
one, but it's
two
not.
new ones now. Yeah, so
It's
about
not,
4 tournaments.
They could do more. That's all I'm saying. They could do more. But again, you know, in the future, you know, I'm going to come back in the future. I'm going to give back one way or the other. I'm going to give back because I'm one person that will never forget where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I'm going to do things. One of my friends, shout out to Dr. Crystal Okeke, she did a tournament in Abuja. I don't know if you know about a lady that came that did a tournament at one of the clubs in Abuja. You didn't hear about it? Okay, I'll show you photos later. She did a tournament there, and yeah, she just like sponsored a little tournament. So she's she's a philanthropist, and she gives back a lot to Nigeria, and she's pro Nigeria. I'm telling you, pro Nigeria. She's always going back. So I'm going to be working with her at some point to do something, and also. My friend here has his own foundation. I have big plans for his foundation. He doesn't know it yet, but eventually we're going to do some big things for those kids back home. You know, there's no way we're going to forget those kids, you know, because they remind me of myself when I started, and they need the support, right? So, you know, I'm working on something. I'm just not there yet. Don't rush me. I'll get there.
But thank you. With the Nigerian tennis standard of tennis federation, I've met with older players, the like of Ganiyu Adelekan, Ile Somi, all of these guys. we talked about, they tell me how much tennis is during their time. Having to play futures, high level tournament.
It was more, right?
Yeah, like all of these
It was
guys,
more.
Kaduna Clay Court,
It was way
international
more.
tournament people,
Way more.
Lagos Classic. They tell me all
Tennis
this
was
name.
booming.
I
It
look
was
at
way more.
the likes of Rotimi, Jagede, and all of these guys. I hear a lot of stories.
All these guys are
right?
like legends.
I hear a
Tell
lot
you.
of stories about these people. You know, but when I see this, right, the level goes down,
It is.
down. As you know, you've seen tennis in Nigeria. You've played tennis in Nigeria. You've seen tennis here in America, in
Yes.
the US.
Yes.
Played. What do you think we're lacking?
Oh, man.
What do you think we're lacking in Nigeria? What do you think? You know, what could help to bring the level of Nigerian tennis up?
It all comes down to one thing, man. It's always been sponsorship. We got mad people with money in Nigeria, man, but they just don't have the heart to give, or they don't know where to give. And it just comes down to one thing. Most of the guys out here that play tennis, their parents sponsor them. You know, so it's different. So that's why I really don't blame these kids at all, because they just don't have the sponsorship. And that is where people like me is going to come in the future, because in the future, working with someone like Sadiq that has his own foundation, what we're going to do is, remember the co-foundation thing we're talking about?
Yeah.
We'll find more people, my sponsorship, and maybe create one. And this time when we're creating it, it's going to stay, because we're doing this for us. If anything start happening in Nigeria, whatever, that place will be like a safety net for these kids. Because some of these kids, man, look, we all come from nothing at some point, you know. Some of these kids are having it rough, you know, and tennis is their way out. You know, going to a tennis court, picking balls to make money. I know that was my way out.
It is. No.
You know, so that's why we can't turn our back on these kids. That's why we need. I really love what you're doing. Anytime I see your videos on Instagram, I just smile. And recently I saw you got some supplies.
Yeah.
I was so happy about that, and I'm like so
Thank
glad you're doing this. And in the future, hopefully, you know, I'll be able to support your foundation one way or the other. You know, I'll be. You know, that's my goal. That's my goal.
Talking about that, Anthony supported us without saying a word. Like, this is someone we reach out to. He support us financially. You know, talked. You know, advice and all type of support. So I appreciate the support.
Bro,
I know you don't want it to be public. It's like, don't put me out there. Do not put me out there. I get that warning already. So I'm putting you out now. Thank you for those financial support.
That's just a warm up, bro. That is nothing. With what I have in mind, that is nothing, bro. Honestly, we're gonna change. We're gonna change the face of tennis in Nigeria, and right now I overheard that there's no even tennis in Kaduna like before. All the guys went to Abuja. You know, we're gonna start from Abuja, which is okay. You know, wherever the kids are, that's what we're gonna focus on. It don't matter if they're from Kaduna or Lagos or Ilorin. It don't matter. Anywhere those kids are and they're willing to work, we're gonna put in the work at some point. You know.
No, you did say something about you see yourself in those kids, like. I've been doing this program, like, because when I look at these pictures, Anthony, like, I literally, like, see myself in 2010 in their shoe. Like, sometimes we don't practice for 2 days. Why? Because we have a broken string. It takes a week to start begging for string, a month. Sometimes my racket is broken for a month. I don't have string or money to pay to be, you know, all of this. I don't have racket. I play tennis with squash racket. So when I see all of this, how I started, I'm able to hang in there, like, against all odds. I'm playing with a, you know, shoe that's like always underneath, playing with barefooted and all of this. And then I started with, like, you know what? All of this racket. We have access to all of this.
I know.
Broken rackets, throwing it away, shoes that are not dead, throwing in the garbage. So we can take all this, and there's plenty of people that needs it, that would appreciate it at home. And because of all of this, instead of waiting for a month, they have racket, they can play, they can have, you know, access to, you know, decent steady shoe and all of that. But comes down to, I look, like I said, it reminds me of myself and that tennis. If not for tennis, I don't know what I would be today.
Yes.
A lot of people I grew up with, you know, got caught off with I'm doing
Different
the wrong
things.
things.
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to say all this. I'm lucky. I'm fortunate. Tennis kind of saved me. I keep saying tennis saved my
Yes,
life
tennis, yeah.
because where would I be if not for tennis? Like with the where I grew up from and all of this. It's something I don't want to talk about that much, but I want as much people as possible to have access to the basic thing they need to play tennis,
Tennis
which is racket, shoe.
and
You can have a
strings
racket,
and
shoe,
balls.
string, balls. These are the basic things.
Yeah.
So the goal is to have people have access to all of this to keep them on the court. If you keep them on the court, guess what? You're keeping them out of trouble. You're keeping them away from the streets. You're keeping them from hanging out with some kind of people. If I don't
Bad
have a string,
company.
if I don't have
Yeah.
a racket to practice, I have no business going to the tennis
Tennis
court.
court. That's
I would go
correct.
somewhere else to go, hang out. So having racket, having strings, having shoe to play with,
Mm-hmm.
you're keeping them away from the street. You never know who you're producing. You
That's
never
right.
know who
Never
this
know.
person would be.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we're doing, and with the support of you guys and continuous
Yeah.
support, and we hope to keep doing this, as keep growing, keep expanding.
And
Like you
gain more
said, it's
support.
not about Kaduna, it's not about Abuja, it's not about Lagos.
Yeah.
It's about Nigeria, it's about
From
everyone, it's about
Nigeria.
Africa, it's about and the world, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's in America. This person needs a shoe, needs a racket. Come on, go for it. Have access to it. Play tennis and all of this.
That's right.
But again, thank you for the support. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
for everyone that has been supporting. We're having a big event this year in Abuja, Nigeria, National Stadium. We're going to be doing a 2 days clinic. The idea now is to get coaches from the US, Qatar, Dubai, my friends in Nigeria coming to, we're going to be training these kids for 2 days and
Oh, that's nice.
educating them with the basic things,
That's
and
nice.
then distributing rackets to the players that needs racket. We've sent over 120 to 50 rackets to Nigeria, Sweet Talk, strings, grapes, and all of this. So
Awesome.
we're looking forward to distributing all these items to the kids that needs it. We're looking forward to training them with the basic, giving them strings, maybe giving their coaches reels of string or something, keep them on the court. And again, thank you to everyone that has been supporting making this a successful. We start, a successful program, and we look forward to seeing everyone next month. Anthony, let's go back to. It's not about the foundation, but let's go back to. Let's go back to your looking forward, right? For a kid that wants to, the kids that are playing right now, we talk about the foundation kids, right? We talk about this kid that we're supporting. A lot of people, including myself, I look at you, I look at all of your achievements. I would say I'm proud. I look forward to, it's like, wow, he keeps setting the bar like for everyone. Like I look at you, look at other Nigerians, I was like, no, Anthony's another level. Masters, bachelors, dental school, all of this. And with all of the challenges, the funding, it's not
Not
it's
easy.
not free, it's not easy and all. What kept you grounded to, to not give up, to keep pushing?
Truth be told, I would tell you this: it's my mom. When I started picking balls in officers' mess, officers' mess, that was the military barrack. My mom was selling food on the side of the road. That woman, she worked, she broke her back for us. 5 brothers and 1 sister. That time she was all by herself because I lost my dad 1997. So it was all her, bro. Like she put in work. When I started picking ball, do I know about America? Did I know I was gonna end up here? No. But then when I started learning things and I see the things that I could do for myself and my family, and how I'll be able to help my mom, she was my inspiration. Like she was the one thing that kept me going. When I came to this country, America has so much things that could make you derail from what you're trying to do. But I keep telling myself, I cannot disappoint my mom. So it was my mom that kept me going. I always call her to pray for me, and I always let her know what I'm trying to do. So she was my major inspiration, bro. Like it was her. I needed to do something to help her out. That was all I was thinking, you know. And then beside that, I realized the kind of opportunity that I have, and I know that there are kids from where I'm from. So I also want them to know that if I can do it, they could do it. So I kept pushing. That way, as I'm gaining more success in life, I'm able to show them. You know, people wonder why I post my success sometimes on Instagram. It's for those kids back home to see it. If you see my page and you don't get inspired, bro, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like for real, you need to be inspired because there are things that only you can do for yourself. Nobody is going to be able to take you and hand it to you. You got to go for it for yourself. Now, a lot of people thought that, oh, somebody made way for me to come to America. No, I went on the internet, Cyber Cafe, and I looked for the schools myself. I went to look for someone that will apply for me to go to the embassy. When I got my visa, I asked for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help or guidance, okay? So my mom was my major inspiration that kept me going, you know? And and then as I get older, and then I have my kid, they became part of my inspiration, you know, and that was it.
Wow. This is so touching, but I hope, like you said, it's all inspiration. You go there, look at this. If he can do it, you can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. Go for it.
Yes.
Before we go, we finish I want to say for a kid that's, young tennis player, anyone wants to be wants to go to college, wants to be successful, what are the two things advice you would give them?
Okay, so my main advice is for you to find somebody that has done it and ask them to mentor you and show you the right path. And now, when you're ready to do this, you got to be serious. You can't just go and talk about it and without trying to, do it. Find somebody that has done it. Then you tell them, bro, I want to go to college in America. Please, can you guide me? Easy. We'll tell you the steps. It's so easy. The first thing you want to do first is the moment you graduate, don't wait 5 years after you graduate high school to try to start applying. Every 2 years you spend at home, your eligibility is gone from NCAA. I don't know if they've changed that, but around my time, that was what it is. It's probably the same thing. Every 2 years you spend after high school, your eligibility is gone. So the moment you graduate, go take the SAT. SAT is the first thing you want to take. So before you come talk to me, take the SAT. When you take that SAT, make sure you get a good score. But whatever score you get, if you don't understand the score, reach out to me and let me know, and I'll tell you if your score is good. Okay, take the SAT. That's the first thing you need to take. After you take the SAT, then you can talk to somebody that has done it. Because the next step is going to be easy, which is just going online and apply to those schools. And then getting a letter of recommendation and all that. That would be easy to get. Okay?
Yeah. But Anthony, thank you so much. Thank you.
My bro.